He has worked 80 hours, 90 hours a week, so he doesn't know what is less than that.
True.
He believes a real hard work, and he lived like that, so he has told what he felt to.
Have you told him about what's happening around in corporate world these days?
Well, normally, people have different way of expression.
True.
But he lived like that. He had walked the talk.
Absolutely.
Okay? Or what he talked, he had walked that. So he told his experience. In Iran, they expressed India, Persia, brother, sister. And I smiled. Then they said, looked at me and said, Amitabh Bachchan, Madhuri Dixit. That means there are a lot of movies who were dubbed in Persian.
Correct.
So the Bollywood also connected to them.
A mother, a wife, a prolific writer, a philanthropist, above all, a humble human being. Today we have with us at News 18 Showsha, none other than Mrs. Sudha Murty. Welcome to News 18 Showsha, ma'am. Thank you so much for being here. Ma'am, you're nothing short of a rock star when it comes to a literature festival like this, especially Tata Lit Fest. How do you think are these Lit Fest shaping, or helping the literary society in India?
First of all, thank you very much for inviting me. Well, I feel it is good to have a literature festival. Various reasons. Number one, readers will meet their authors.
Correct.
As a kid, I was so keen to meet the author whom I write. But there was no Lit Fest in those days.
Correct.
Okay. So it's good to meet. Even for authors, it's good to meet other authors. It's a get together in a way.
Correct.
Third thing is this kind of literature festival exposes to many other varieties which you are not aware. Normally, I would not have known many sessions if I would not have come to literature festival.
Correct.
Like today, I think one day a meal is there by Vijay. That's a very good session, but I missed it because of my flight was delayed.
Correct.
So it's good for authors, good for the readers.
True.
And it's a good method of organizing it so that there is a systematic way of meeting, exchanging and understanding different subjects in literature.
True, ma'am, true. Ma'am, can you probably share an incident that has probably happened with you in your experience, that has probably shaped your perspective, the way you write, the way you imagine your characters, probably something that has inspired you?
Not one, there are many are there. So it's hard to tell, but from the beginning, I loved observing, and writing about the incident or the person. And I realized probably when I became a grandmother, that the best way to teach children is always in the form of stories.
Correct.
And then, I would like to become a child. Hum bhi agar bacche hote. Okay. So I said, okay, if I want to write for children, I should become a child inside.
True, true.
Then, how will you define a child? Not only age-wise. A child is unbiased. A child is curious. A child wants to explore new things. Keeping that in mind, I started writing.
Right.
And that helped me a lot. One, to realize what children want. Second, how much children enjoy. Because I enjoyed as a child in my mind.
True. True. Ma'am, your journey in both corporate world as well as, your social service is very inspiring. What strategies have you probably, employed to successfully balance these two characteristics of yours?
Strategy in the sense I always think of time.
Right.
Time is very precious because I feel nature is impartial to everyone. Whether you're rich or poor, ugly or beautiful, you are a king or the ordinary poor person. You are president and you may be an ordinary citizen. Everybody gets only 24 hours.
Correct. Absolutely.
That's the nature's gift of impartiality.
True.
Or highly democratic in that. So keeping that in my mind, I calculate time everywhere. And if it is not beating the bush, all those things I don't do.
Correct.
Unnecessary, go and attend one function and stay up to 3-4 hours after that, I won't do.
True.
I minimize such activities and that's the reason I can balance both.
True, ma'am.
And of course I have help from the family, who is very supportive of me.
True. Ma'am, your literary works are usually around, complex human emotions and, the way we are as humans. Is there any way probably you find an angle to a character that you write on? What's the process behind that you write on?
Because human mind is very complex. What you see, it is not there inside. then what is there inside, nobody will come to know.
True.
So when I write a character, I observe as much as possible. Then I imagine at times, and then I reflect it. For example, if I'm not convinced, I can't write.
True.
House of Cards is one novel. It took 15 years for me to write because I was not convinced at all.
Okay.
Why the heroine should behave like this or the hero should behave like that. The more and more I saw different aspect of a person, I was able to write it.
True. True.
So until I am convinced, I will not write.
I get it. Ma'am, you've been a champion of women's rights and empowerment in the country. In your view, what are the challenges and what are the things that we can do in today's time, to make it even easier for women in our country?
One is, I don't know, I'm not a guru to tell, but I have followed, if you want to hold your family properly, then it is a little bit of sacrifice is needed.
True.
Okay, you can't say you do, I do, that is not the way. You have to bind your family with your affection, not with money.
True.
Okay, for that at times you have to adjust more than others. You have to do that.
True.
Because at the end everybody will be happy. At the end you also feel nice about it. Second thing is you should know where you are good and where you are not good. You should know your limitation.
Right, ma'am.
Okay, and you should also know your plus points.
Absolutely. Yeah.
If you understand your plus points, minus points, and accepting life as it comes, and adjust accordingly, will be the most successful person. It is not the richest will be most successful. It is not the most intelligent is most successful. It is not the most beautiful is most successful. It is the person who adjusts depending on the situation.
True.
Is the most successful.
Absolutely, no doubt, ma'am. Well said. Ma'am, you've always, discussed when it comes to importance of values and ethics in your writings. How important is it to you in your personal life as well?
Normally, what I talk, I walk the same.
Okay, that's put in a very good way. As a successful author, you've explored a wide range of human experiences and emotions. How do you navigate these complexities of how we deal with things, like you said, and probably the psychological way of approaching things, and how do you put them into character and narrate those stories?
It's a creative art. It is a creative art, and when I write a story, the surroundings will be really true. For example, in House of Cards, I describe a village, Aladahalli, and the lake, the temple, the house, the road, everything, they are all real.
Correct.
Okay? But the persons are imaginary.
Okay.
So one line of fiction, one line of reality, I weave the cloth.
Right.
So that the reader will never come to know which is real, which is unreal. And this you learn over a period of time.
Right. Ma'am, you've traveled extensively as well, and can you share an instance, wherein you have seen a cultural difference or probably experienced a different culture and that has inspired you and that has stayed with you? Has that happened?
Normally I wear a sari when I go out. Rarely I wear salwar kameez because I always want to show that, this is our dress. I think in Indonesia, one place, Borobudur, I think, Buddha's statue is there. It's a very beautiful place. Everyone was mesmerized looking at sari. And I felt it is such a nice dress. Iran, I had been to Iran.
Right.
So many people will stop me and touch the sari. I can't speak Persian, they can't speak English. The moment I wear a sari, they think Indian. And there are many ways they express Indian appreciation. For example, in Iran, they expressed India, Persia, brother, sister. And I smiled. Then they said, looked at me and said, Amitabh Bachchan, Madhuri Dixit. That means there are a lot of movies who were dubbed in Persian.
Correct.
So the Bollywood also connected to them. Many people did ask me, what a beautiful dress that you people have. So I find our Indian culture is a lot, when you go abroad, I at least do that one, to show that this is our traditional culture of our country.
True. Ma'am, you've also been known for your philanthropy. And there are a lot of philanthropists in India right now as well. What would you want to tell them How can they make a difference?
You have to work on the field. That is very important in philanthropy. Writing check is relatively easy, but you have to go and work on the field with them. Then you can make a better decisions.
True.
And which I followed. I sat, I worked with them, I ate with them, I understood their difficulties. Then what planning I did, it always helped them. This is my way, that it is not like, writing a check is the end of it, but you have to work with them to understand what is the real problem.
True. Ma'am, we all know about how a worker was Narayan sir when he was in his prime, and you have supported him, and we've been a strong pillar ever since. We have anecdotes from a lot of places. But what have you probably learned from him, if we may ask you?
Of course, a lot I learned from him. Number one is keep an aim and work for that. Don't be distracted, neither to left nor to right. Next strosum, next strosum, that's a Latin word. He keeps an aim and you work at that. When you're working, don't leave any stone unturned.
True.
Okay. Every possible way you have to do. Third thing, if you have passion, then only you will excel. It is not your intelligence, it is not dumb hard work, it's smart hard work, and your passion only take you to the top.
True. Recently also he made this statement wherein he has requested all the corporates to work for 70 hours. Was he genuinely like that? How did
he has worked 80 hours, 90 hours a week, so he doesn't know what is less than that.
True.
He believes a real hard work, and he lived like that, so he has told what he felt.
True. Have you told him about what's happening around in corporate world these days?
Well, normally, people have different way of expression.
True.
But he lived like that. He has walked the talk.
Absolutely.
Okay? Or what he talked, he has walked that. So he told his experience.
Absolutely, no doubt. Ma'am, one last question. What can we expect from you in the future, in the near future?
In what field?
In anything you're doing, ma'am. Everything. We're interested in everything that you do.
I really do not know. As I told that what it comes, I accept it. Maybe some more books I'm writing.
Absolutely.
Okay. New books I'm writing, and I hope children will like them.
Absolutely. And on that note, thank you so much for your time, ma'am. It was lovely talking to you, and it's an honor to be in the same space as you. Thank you so much.
Dhanyavad.
Thank you.
Dhanyavad.
Thank you.
Namaste. I am Sudha Murty, your author. You are watching me on News 18 Showsha.